Happy Easter, everyone. It's the Greek Easter today. So we're here to do an Easter mukbang, and I'm going to introduce you to a few Easter greats, and then we'll sit and eat and discuss things, okay? How's that sound to you? Good? Good. Okay, so here we go. So if I take you on a tour, so we have, there's Guardian. So we have Greek meatballs called choftedas, right? You can fry and put them in the oven. Every family's tradition is different. Some is made with pork, beef, or lamb, or some actually make it vegetarian and stuff. You can. You have, this is called macaroni in the funno, which means macaroni everyone knows. Funno is another word apparently for oven in Greek. It's just like a bit like moussaka and all that, if you've ever tasted that before. Okay, so we have flaunda, which is the Greek Easter bread. Oh, it smells so good. You can get them with raisins or without. It has Greek cheese in it. It's sweet, it's beautiful. Then we have my favourite. We have gadaifi. These are gadaifis, my favourite. And these are baklava, if you didn't know. And these are the Greek Easter eggs. So if I put these down, and oh yeah, here when this happens. Oh. So if I put you down and bring you closer, then we can start our feast. Okay. How's that, guys? Good? Good? Oh, now you could, my head being chopped off. There you go. There we go. Okay, so we got pita bread, and I've done myself chicken as well. I have, now normal traditions, you have like hummus, darma salada, which is the pink one that everyone calls tarama salada, but T is D, so it's darma, and none of this is Turkish, okay? Make it very clear in people's heads that this has never and will never be Turkish, okay? It's Greek, okay? And it's also Lebanese. And it is definitely not Turkish, okay? Now, some people put just rice in the gubebias, which are these, the stuffed vine leaves, and mint. That's because the Turks stole it, the recipe, and then what they did was they don't eat pork. Now, depending on where in the country you are, of Cyprus and Greece, and depending on also where your ancestry lies, is what kind of meat you put. I use beef and lamb because lamb's my favourite of all meats. Gaddafi and baklava and stuff like that is Israeli, Greek, and Egyptian. Okay? Most of these foods come from them areas. Turkey has nothing to do with Greek food. Palafi, stuff like that. I will take you through. We'll be doing more Greek mukbangs because people have been asking. All this is homemade. So I've not brought it or called it in or anything like that. I've done all this myself. You can go on YouTube. You see a load of recipes. But remember, if anyone says it's Turkish, it's not. And it really bugs me. I mean, really bugs me, guys, when people say things are food from another place. No, it is Lebanese, or it's like Western, like Lebanese. It's you can have it from Egypt, and it's also from Greece and Cyprus. So the Turks haven't actually got anything of theirs. They've just stole over the years, right? So like our English heritage actually comes from like Norway, places like that, and the French, right? When the kings came over and took over and married into royalty in the UK hundreds and thousands of years ago, for instance, pork was a word in France for cooked meat, and pig was what we did, which was a live animal. We are the only country that call our animals two things. One, before they're cooked and one after they're cooked. So we have like cow and then we have beef, right? So do you see what I'm saying to you? Okay, so let's start eating, and then, so I'm going to show you the first the flounder. So I'm going to cut it for you so you can see. It's a cheese and raisin. Can you see? Now, I don't normally have raisins here because Guardian is allergic, and if I collapse and he has to suck it out my mouth, it'll poison him if it goes in his, because he's trained to do that as he's a medic dog. But this, if you look carefully, focus, there you go. This is what it looks like. It has Greek cheese in there. It's like part bread, part sweet. It is the Greek Easter's Easter, right? Nicely freshly done, perfect. Okay, so where I'm from at the moment, you can't get delivery of Greek food. So for the last 4 days I've been cooking, and if anyone's done Greek food before and cooked Greek food, you will know how much pain it causes. I really don't know how the old yayas, the old ladies, we call them yayas, the old ladies, I don't understand how they can sit and roll and make and bake for hours and hours and hours for parties and stuff. But my back, my stomach. I've also had a bad time with my Crohn's. IBS has kicked in, Crohn's kicked in at the same time, and then on top of all that, I've got bleed in my stomach, which kicked off as well because I overworked today. So, another thing, everyone asks me, what nationality am I? I am English. My ancestors are Italian, Spanish, and Greek, and Egyptian, obviously, right? So let's have a look at this. So this is the Greek meatballs. This is normally traditionally done in the family with pork, in our family, but in a lot of families it's done with beef or lamb, and I prefer lamb, personally. But they've got herbs and spices. Now, here's another thing, what I want to tell you is, if you cook these, they have to be eaten within 3 days, refrigerated. You can reheat them up, but make sure it's heated up very well, especially if you're doing it in pork. But 3 days is okay in the fridge. As long as you don't cook them, you can make the stuffing, roll them, the kebabs, and put them into the fridge up to a week. So this is why it's more popular. So if I cut it open, you will see what's inside, which is herbs, rice, and mincemeat, right? I've tried doing it, and I love it with turkey. You also can do the vegetarian version if you want to. So baklava and gaddafi, which is what I showed you guys earlier, which is, this is gaddafi, made with puff pastry and nuts, and this is baklava. Everyone knows baklava more. So baklava is actually, in gaddafi, if you put it in your refrigerator, it can last 14 months. If you leave it out in the atmosphere, 5 days, and then you have to get rid of it, okay? So, yeah, 5 days and you have to get rid of it. So let's have a bit of pita bread. All homemade. believe it or not, it's so easy to make pita bread. Just do like you would normally do a bread. Put a bit of olive oil in. You can even put olives in and herbs. See, I like coriander. But Greeks use herbs like parsley. Oh, I've got another thing for you. I nearly forgot it now. Now I told you how I make hummus, dana masala. Dana masala is actually cod roe eggs, right? But I made, that you don't see very often, dashi, which is sesame seed paste, lemon juice, water, a bit of salt, a bit of garlic and parsley. So if I do this, I'll show you. It's very white, very lemony, and it's a Greek dip. Can you see that? So it's a bit like hummus, a bit. It's made from the paste of sesame seeds though. It's an acquired taste. It is. I know loads of Greeks that won't eat that. So let's dip it into the kebab. But it enhances, because the lemon juice and you've got the sesame seeds. So if you've not noticed, that Greek food has a lot of sesame seeds. But that's why everyone says the Mediterranean diet is the best diet. Now, before you all scream at me, I get it. I've heard you. The little psari, which is little fish, full fish, called Sprite. And there's another one, a tiny little fish. And they season the flour, deep fry it, a bit like fish and chips, deep fry it, use the potatoes with afghan, which is with egg, and then you eat it with lemon. I've been avoiding it. Can you imagine eating a whole fish, including its head, its tail, its bones, its guts, and everything? You can't even degut them, they're so small. So, but if you guys really want to request it, I will request it. So, I tell you what, the food goes cold very quick. So this is, I'll give you a look. This is macaroni in the oven. So this is our bechamel sauce. You can go online anywhere. All it is bread, flour, eggs and butter. So you fry the butter, put the flour in, and then milk, any milk. I would suggest full fat milk. Most people don't. They use all sorts of milks, but you can use whatever milk you want. Now, I have gastroparesis. My stomach empties very slowly. So for the last 4 days, I've eaten Actimel yogurt for the guts to get it healthy. I've been eating 1 avocado. So I can keep my stomach pretty empty for this mukbang. I don't know how long I've got before I start vomiting. I don't know how long I've got before I start in chronic pain where I can't move. Panic attack, I don't know. But I've tried my best. I have taken all my medicines for the last 4 days. I've been preparing for this, so I hope I've done well. And because it's a religious day, I thought they might cut me a break. I hope you can hear me up there, cut me a break, right? Now, I don't know if we can eat this on gastroparesis or not, because some people can, some people can't. I'm still going through tests and stuff like that. So it's pretty much guesswork. So this is why I'm only taking bits of food. Because I don't know how much I'll be able to eat, I don't know. But I wanted to do this for you guys, especially my subscribers. So let's try the chicken. Listen. Now this is crisp barbecue chicken that I made. And it's really nice dipped in dashi. So, as it's a Greek Easter and it's Christian Easter, I'm hoping the Greek gods will shine down on me and not cripple my stomach. But I've got fantastic doctors and nurses at the hospital, and they're very patient. So that's good. So, there's always been a battle between the Greeks apparently and the Turks. Right? And people keep asking me, what nationality are you? I was born in Britain. I was raised in Britain. I've never been outside Britain. I don't own a passport because I love my country so much. I don't need to go abroad and put money in abroad when I can put it in my own country. And I would defend the UK with my life and Britain with my life. So my ancestry, see, I can't say I'm Greek fully because I'm only, although both parents are Greek and grandparents, my great-grandparents were Italian, Spanish, Greek mix, and Latin, and Roman, and Sicilian. But it's from that west, and Egyptian. So it's sort of like I'm a mixed bag. So I can't pinpoint. I've had the test done, so I can't pinpoint exactly what my official title would technically be in that instance. But I don't know about you guys, but what bugs me is I don't mind people taking on their heritage. So say they've got Greek grandparents, parents that were born in a different country, but they were born here. But I don't understand why they always put the country they weren't born with first. That's the bit I don't understand. So here's what I mean, right? Have you seen the Greek eggs? Look, this is the colours. See them? They're just hard-boiled eggs with coloured dye. And then you tap with another person on top. And whoever's egg breaks, the other one wins. And then you go around the table. And if your egg wins, you win the prize. Yeah, we'll do it later. So, what I don't get is when they go, like, oh, I'm Cypriot Greek, British, or I'm African American, or I'm Indian American, or I'm Indian British, or and I goes, oh, so you're born in India? No. I don't understand. Why would you put a culture that you wasn't born with first? Although our country, you were born here, you were educated here, you've got a job here, you live here, and yet you put a country, and it bugs me. So, like, the other day, I'm not racist, don't get me wrong, I can't be. I've got too many family members that are all different. I've even got black African family members that are married and stuff, so I'm not racist. I just think you should be loyal to the country that has supported you, that has, because your family didn't stay in the country of your origins for one reason, because it's not a nice country, right? Or it doesn't give what they wanted their children and grandchildren to be and have, right? So what buggers me up is when they put that country first. And so take Caribbean, like take the African Caribbean. It's a very dangerous place for a lot of people. If you're not one man, one woman, guardian shush. If you want to talk, you come and talk to them on here. Come and tell them what you want. No, tell them. Don't bark at me. Talk to them. You can talk. Talk to them. You'll hear him say, I want to go out, Mummy. What do you want? What? He'll say, I want to go out, Mummy. What do you want? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You want to what? What do you want, Guardian? Well, if you don't talk to me properly, then you don't get what you want. So anyway, so as we're saying, so they say, oh, we're from Jamaica, say, right? So you go, okay, but they're gay. So I say to them, so you're American Jamaican? No. I'm Jamaican American. No, you can't be. Were you born in Jamaica? No. So you're born in America? Yeah. Did you go to school in Jamaica? No. So you went to school in America? Yeah. Now remember, I'm autistic, right? So I haven't got this thing to make people sweet talk or sugar talk or whatever they call it, right? They say I need a filter. But I just say what it is what it is, right? So I said to him, if you're not American, if you're born in America, you're raised in America, but you're raised by Jamaican parents and grandparents, yeah, okay. So you were educated in the USA, yeah. So you can go to school and walk down the road and be gay because thousands of billions of people stood up for that right? Yeah. But if you went to Jamaica or any of them kind of countries, you would be ridiculed horrifically for your human rights and everything else because of who you love. Yeah, so what are you saying? So why aren't you saying I'm American black, or I'm American Jamaican, or I'm American Indian, or I'm American Greek, or I'm American? Why say you're the culture first and then the country that supported you, brought you up, kept you safe, told you that you could be who you want, give you that freedom, and then put a country and say how good it is and how great it is and the food's beautiful and the culture's beautiful, and yet you're scared to walk down the road there. You won't go and live there. It makes no sense to me. So like even my family, when they go, oh, I'm Cypriot, or oh, you're Cypriot Greek, or you're Cypriot Greek, or are you Grecian Greek? And I'm like, no, I'm British. I'm white British. Yeah, but which part of the world does your parents, grandparents, and your ancestors come from? All over the Middle East. Italian, Spanish. I'm more Italian and Spanish than I am anything else. Egyptian. So they went, oh. And my parents would say, and my aunties and uncles and that, no, you're British Cypriot Greek, you're British Greek. And I went, I'm not, I'm British. I was born in Britain, I was raised in Britain, I pay my taxes in Britain, I go on holiday in Britain, I'm British. That's all there is to it. And they were like, so I don't understand how another culture can be in a different part of the country and yet be proud of a country that they've either never been to or escaped from because it was dangerous, because of their laws and stuff, and then come over here and then sit there and push their cultures into our face and say we're racist in our own country. So like, for instance, when the Turks and the Greeks, right? So if a Greek and a Turk gets together, there's a big fight, right? So I go, where are you from? They go, oh, Cyprus. Oh, so you're Greek? No, I'm Turkish. I'm Turkish Cypriot. So where were you born? Cyprus. Then you're Cypriot Turk? No. I'm Turkish first, then Cypriot. So what are you doing in Cyprus? Go back to your country then. Well, I was born in Cyprus. But you're not putting that country first. I don't understand. Now, call me ignorant, call me whatever you want to call me. I've got learning difficulties, I'm autistic. And if you've got autistic kids or autistic adults in your life, you know that we just can't figure complicated things out. It stresses us out a lot. The world stresses us out. I'm just going to let Guardian roam because he doesn't like the shut door. He gets panicky. Go on. Right? So when they say to me, I'm from that culture, and it goes, right, but shouldn't you put the country that raised you, that brought you up, that kept you safe, that let you have the right to be a human being and the right to love whoever you wanted to love, and for you to walk down the street safe and go into a pub and have a drink with your husband, you know, by your side, or your wives or whatever it is by your side, without, you know, being attacked? Well, yeah. So then why go around saying that that place is like, oh, it's beautiful, it's great, the food's good. Yeah, but the food is good, fair enough. But that still doesn't give you a right to turn around and say the country that you were born in, the country that you were raised in, the country that fought years and years and years against oppression, against homophobic behaviour, against everything. It didn't just happen, you know. Someone didn't just go, oh, look, now I'm the President of the United States, or I'm the Prime Minister of the UK. Right? Guardian, what do you want? It's because I'm eating and it's starting to hurt. He's starting to panic. Alright? Take the UK. Guardian, come. He's trying to get the neighbours' attention by barking because I'm eating food that's going to hurt me. He's panicking. He's going to press my button. I have a button on my arm, see? In case you pass out or not. He's going to press it. Because I'm not listening to him. I'm not eating that much. It looks like I am, but I'm not. I'm not. Don't argue with me. Right, so. Come and have a look if you want. I've still got all the food still. So, because it's gone cold. I don't know what it is with mukbangs. You sit and eat normally, and it's warm, and you sit, and it's cold. Anyway, good job Greek food tastes cold good. Right, anyway, so, as I was saying, the Prime Minister or the President of a country, the Western world, like us, like the UK and America and that, now we can have gay marriages and that. How do you bloody think it got there? What? Did you think that everyone just went, oh, that's a good Prime Minister, that's a good President. He's saying, if I become in power, I'll give you all gay rights. No. There was people murdered killed, just like all the other countries. But we stood up to that. We would walk the streets in the 80s, and especially the 80s and 90s. Women's football. Do you know how long I played women's football for? And if it's nowadays, I would have been one of the top players. Because I was trained by Sylvia Gore, right? I was found playing football in my home at the back, where, not my home as in where I live, but a children's home, at the back with the boys, and I was playing football. And Sylvia Gore's car broke down outside the home, so she came in to phone for a breakdown service. This was 1988, right? I was 12. And she turned around and she goes, yes, I'm 46. So she turned around, don't faint, don't pass out. I am 46. No, I've had no bits and pieces done to me. I have a mental age of a 14-year-old, emotional age of a 5-year-old, and I think my brain hasn't caught up yet with how long I've been on the air for. That's my theory. I don't have anything. I don't put oil on, don't put makeup on, I don't make things like them Photoshop things. If I did that, then you might as well put me in nappies, right? But hear me out. So I'm asking people, right? And they go, Chip, you sure you're not racist? No. Why would I be racist? Well, would you date someone who's African, black, or whatever, if I fell in love with them? If the person that I met, I was attracted to, well, what are you normally attracted to? Women. No, but what colour skin? I've never looked at the colour skin. I had a best friend who come from, she was the princess of Zimbabwe in the home. And the only reason why she was staying there was because her mum and dad was travelling around the UK as ambassadors. And she was put in Elwood home for a little while. And I was. And we became very good friends. And I didn't even know, I didn't see a black person in those days, right? It was very rare for me. So, we were best friends and everything. And then when her mum and dad come, they pulled away and said, you can't play with that white kid. And I was like, what white kid? And he went, you. And I went, I'm white. And he went, yeah. And I went, but why can't I play with my friend? And he went, because she's a black princess and you're nothing. You're just a white person. So they don't like us. And I was like, why? What did I do? So it confused me for quite a long while. And then when I went past to go to a Baptist church, I was listening, and it was like, I was 13 years old, I was listening, and they were like, on a Sunday, it wasn't the boring blah, 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 blah with the book. It was like dancing and praying, and they were all, and I thought, wow, that sounds really exciting, and the smell of food, and I thought, wow. So I went into the church, and I was like, yeah, I can join in and stuff, and they just all stopped. The guy in the front with the microphone turned around and said, you lost? And I went, I wasn't. And he went, what are you doing here? And I was like, I like the music and the sounds and the noise and that, and I want to join. He went, you can't, you're not black. So I looked at myself and I went, yeah, I know I'm not black. I'm white, so nope, you can't come here. You go to the white church down the road. And I went, but I'm not religious. I just want to, be happy on a Sunday. This sounds happier. This is better than sitting there listening to someone going, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Because that's the way I see Sunday church. Can you just excuse me a minute? You're doing this on purpose to get your own way. Never mind. It's going to rain anyway on you. You're going to come running in. Right? So they were like, yeah. No, out. And I was like, oh. So as I was walking out, I saw a police officer, a black police officer. So I ran up to him and I said, guess what? And he went, what? And I went, they won't let me in to play the games and to sing and dance and everything like that. And he turned around and he said, well, that's because you're not black. So I went, so you have to be black? And he went, yeah. And I says, why? And he goes, because that's just the way it is. Your church is down there. And I says, and what's that church? And he went, that's a Catholic church. He went, but I'm not Catholic. And he goes, oh, you're Protestant. Well, you're Protestant church down there. He goes, no, I'm not Protestant neither. And he goes, oh, so you must be Christian. Right, your Christian church, if you go around the corner and goes, no. And he goes, well, why do you want to go in there? And I goes, listen, it's really fun. Remember, I'm autistic with learning difficulties. I'm a 12-year-old kid who just wants to go and make friends and have fun. And have you ever been to them Baptist churches and that? They have lots of fun and they're all together and they sing together and they dance and they've got so beautiful voices. And I'm not saying the choirs don't have beautiful voices, because they, especially the Welsh choir and the Scottish choir and that, wow. I mean, they've got tremendous voices, but at the time, that's all that was there. And I weren't going to listen to boring things. I couldn't sit listening to boring people because I've got ADHD. And if I went into a boring church and sat there listening to a priest going, oh, 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 now let's sing from the hymn book, and everyone stands up and goes, oh, 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 and they're all stiff. I wanted the fun one where you dance and you clap and you all shake hands and hallelujah and all that. Like, I didn't understand what it meant. I just liked that vibe. So I'm not racist. So I'll tell you the end of that story in a minute, because I jump back and forth. Again, you've got to be with me because of my autism, right? So coming back to it, people think that the Western world used to always be the Western world. Gay marriages came because we fought. We got shot, we got stabbed, we got kidnapped, we got beaten, we got ignored. We went through the same things as Africa goes through now, as Catholics go through, as a lot of people go through in religion and in different places and different cultures and ethnic minorities and stuff like that. We all go through it, right? The only difference is in the Western world, we take no shit. And if our government won't listen, then we kick them off and put another government on. And if they still don't listen, we do the same. And we go out on marches and we don't stop until our government, because we're the ones that put them up there, us, for them to represent us, all of us. So when a government becomes a government, it has to have a diversity of what the culture is in that country at that time. And if you can't be everybody, then you shouldn't be running. So take like the Prime Minister. If he can't be gay, straight, bi, trans, gender, black, white, African, American, anything that's in this country, French, German, Belgium, Polish, blah, 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 list, right? If he can't be all them people and represent all them people, then either we need more than just one Prime Minister. We need about 4 or 5 different diverse Prime Ministers, or we need a cabinet of Prime Ministers that runs that Prime Minister and he listens to them, and that's how it works. But we didn't put our heads in the sand and run off to another country. We stayed and fought. And this is the bit that makes me angry. It's the fact that people say, oh, it's not like the Western world where you're all forward and all this lot. I played football for years. I met Sylvia Gowan. She was one of the first ever women after the war, one of the first ever women to start the Football League off in the UK. And she went to America and started that off, right? I was one of the first in my school to start another school team with another school team. And they know who they are, right? And it was unheard of, women football. Women can't play football, just go play. But I was serious. Football was my life. I breathed football, I ate football, I slept football, right? Every second of the day you would see me with a football kit on, a tracksuit on, and out playing football in the rain, sunshine, snow and everything. Perfecting my shots and everything like that. And it's only now, in 2012, 13, that we're starting to go on TV and starting to be taken serious, but we still have to pay. But why are women footballers now on TV? Why? Because of us, because of our generation. Not sitting back and being bullied. Not sitting there and being told, I'm sorry, girls don't play football, that's all there is to it. I was that serious about playing football that I was willing to change my sex to play football. That's how bad it got. And I told my counsellor that. And she went, so you're not transgender? And I went, no. But if that's all I can do to play my football and be recognised on how good a footballer I am, then that's what I'll do. So, what I'm trying to say is, like, take the African countries and stuff like that are really bad, and like the other countries that have got war, and South Africa and North Africa fighting. I don't understand all this about colour skin, and we're all human beings, we're all animals at the end of the day, but we're all one. Without each other, we can't live. When people say, oh, males are better than females, or females are better than males at this, and males are better than females at that, it's bollocks. With things we are, so we can make the world better. Man is no different than woman. Woman is no different than animal. Animal is no different than human. We're all, like, vegans turn around and say, you can't kill. But yet you chop a head off a lettuce that has feelings and membranes and has, like, a whole nervous system. But because it hasn't got a mouth and it can't speak, you don't think that's murder. Do you see what I'm saying? The world's gone mad. It's crazy. And everyone says autistic people with learning difficulties are all crazy. We're not thinking straight. But maybe we are thinking straight. Maybe it's you lot. That's why we can't function in society. Because I'll tell you why, right? Here's my reasoning, okay, behind all this. If your country is being oppressive in any way, shape or form to your women, to your children, to laws that you don't like, to gay people, to bisexuals, transgender, stuff like that, why run away from that country and go to a country that has already fought and got forward? Why not stand and do exactly the same as what we did, as what the Western world... The Western world wasn't always the Western world. In some places it was even horrificer and worse. And in some places it still is that backwards. But what I'm trying to say to you is, it just doesn't come. War doesn't stop unless you make it stop. So, when people put a country that is very oppressed or very, like, not nice to people and hurt people and put people in prison because they love somebody, right? Apparently, they put people in prison for loving somebody. So, the way I look at it is this, right? These men and boys that come over from the ships, right? They're young, healthy, fit guys. Right, some of them are like 17, 18, 19, 20, 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 32-year-olds. Mostly are boats of men. It's hardly women, because they want to come over first, do the horrific journey, and if they survive, then bring their family members over, right? And everyone argues with me and says, but Chip, they're just trying to escape their oppressive country. They're scared. But they're young men. Pick up arms. Go against your government. Start standing up for yourselves and saying, no, we're not going to have this no more. Why can't we be like the Western world? If you're not happy with that, then get off. Now, people are going to say, oh, yeah, what about Russia? What about Russia? If Putin didn't have a following, he wouldn't be president. It's the people that give you the power. Hitler couldn't have done half the things he could have achieved. He wouldn't have achieved any of it if it wasn't for the people that was behind him. Our government couldn't be doing what they're doing. And people know that. And that's why they're saying, look, we're sick of lockdown. We don't think it's working. We're sick of you lying. And now they're getting upset about it. They're protesting. And don't think these protests aren't being listened to, because they are. And eventually, our protesters will eventually get something done. And they're not being violent, and they're not killing anybody, and they're not shooting people, and they're not running around blowing people up or anything. All they're doing is saying, we're not tolerating this no more. And the government will bite back, but then we'll bite harder. What protest? I don't know what protest. The protests that are happening about lockdown and all that lot. But what I'm trying to say is, if you keep running away to other countries, then how do you make your country great again? How do you make your country the best country it can be for its citizens? So when you see those young men that should really be defending their country and defending their family are trying to get over to like Greece, Cyprus, France, Germany, Britain, America, because they don't like their culture. And then you go to them, so how old are you? I'm 23. I saw 4 of them, four lads. Where was it from? It was a very dangerous country. It was Romania? No, you know that place where there's a big fight at the minute? And Britain have asked them to stop, but they're carrying on. And he goes, yeah, I'm from there. And I said, and how old are you? And he goes, I'm 19, 20, 21 and 25. Anyone of you's got family? Yep, in where they were from. I forget, is it beginning with I forgot, right? It's where all the big war is at the minute. And I said, so how did you sneak in here? And he went through the railway and went, but why? Why are you trying to get into Britain? What has Britain got? And he was like, well, we want the freedom to work. We want money. I was like, that's it. You want money? Yeah. We want to bring our families over here because of the war. I went, now we're getting down to it. It was okay. He goes, yes, I've got a wife and a baby. I went, oh, bless. So where is she? Back home. Call me stupid. I wouldn't leave my wife and kid in a place where they're getting bombed and raped and murdered to come over to a country and then bring them over by earning money. I'd be there defending my family. Or am I wrong about that? Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. You guys comment down below. Do you think I'm wrong about that? That they should leave their wives over in the country they're running away from because of all the dangers and that, to bring their families over for a better life, while their family's still over there, on their own now this time, because they're over here. So I said to him, that's pathetic. I went, no, I'm a good dad. And I went, so is your wife and family safe? No, they're not safe. We come to Britain so we can be citizens, so we can bring our wife and child over. And I goes, and in the meantime, where are they? Stuck in the country that you're running from because it's dangerous. Well, yeah. Oh. All I could think about was, if my wife and child was in danger in a country that was taking them and raping them and killing them and torturing them, would you allow them to stay there without you protecting them? I would either do 2 things. 1, bring them over with me. Doesn't matter how dangerous, it's dangerous where they are, so bring them over with me. Or 2, stand and fight and protect them. That's what I would do. So I'm going to try a bit of Gaddafi now. Okay? This has honey syrup. If you're diabetic, do not eat this. I'm being serious. Do not eat this if you're diabetic. Because it's not made from honey, it's made from sugar syrup. Okay? See the peanuts? Right, so I think it's excuses. So he turns around to them, you white people. Do you realise that us white people are only 1% of the whole world? Do you realise that? And he was like, what? I went, us white people only occupy 1% of the world. The 99% are all other colours, all other skin types. But we're the only 1%. White people are only 1% of the world. 99% of the world is all different colours. So again, it don't make sense. White people rule. What the fuck? No, we don't. That's why Hitler and everyone else tried to make them white. But then again, if that's true, Jewish people, some of them are white, and some of them are tanned. Right? Or am I not thinking straight here? So like I said to you guys, it's a very confusing world out there. But the Western world didn't become the Western world because we ran away to different countries to become something that country fought hard to get. And I think that's why it pisses a lot of people off. That when people come into this country and expect to have the same right as someone like me who's born here, raised here and fought here. In the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, for women it was very hard. And even before that, you had the suffragettes killing themselves, being force-fed, raped and murdered. And in the end, they had to die to get the government to change. But they did. They got the government to change so we could vote. Right? They're saying that, oh, women are getting paid less money than men and blah, 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 blah. So if that's the case, why aren't we changing it? Who's stopping us changing that? Men in power. Well, who puts men in power? Because 50% of the world's female and 50% of the world's male. So who puts men in power? Is it men who vote and women don't vote, and that's why men are in power? Because women aren't voting? They just can't be asked to vote after everyone killing themselves so women can have the right to vote? Is that why? You've got to say to yourself, why is the country in the state it is? Because I don't agree it's the government. I, honest to God, do not agree that it's the government that makes this world the way it is, makes our country the way it is. Because we vote for him. So say you're sitting there and you're going, okay, well, I don't want him on because he lied. Then take action. Do what we do best, guys. If you don't think he's doing the job, YouTube it, put it on Twitter, make yourself known. Stand up for your right. When I voted for you, you said you were going to do this, this and this, and you haven't, so I don't want you no more. And then go on a protest or two safely. Very safely. Go on a protest. It's the only way you're going to get it to change. We didn't want to be in the EU no more. Right? So everyone protested the government and wrote to the government and put in a lot of protests. He didn't have to. David Cameron did not have to do it. But he had no choice because he knew if he didn't, it was going to get worse and the protesting were going to get worse. So he said, okay, I'm listening to you, Britain. You want that? Now we're out the EU. Good or bad, it don't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. If you don't like the way your country is, go against. Now you're going to mention China, because I just saw it come up. But in China, you're not allowed to protest. You get arrested and stuff like that. That's when our country comes in, and the countries like America and Japan and China and all the big countries come in and say, no, that's not happening. The EU, France, Germany. No, that's not happening. I'm sorry, but you can't arrest people for protesting. If you carry on kicking you off the government and putting someone else in, and we'll let the Chinese people decide. That's what should happen. That's what's written down in the treaty, in the Magna Carta, that no country will oppress their own or others, and no country will behave in a way where it could wipe out either another country or the human race. There's a certain standard done, and China signed it. Believe it or not. Don't believe me? Go have a look at it. China agreed to a lot of stuff they broke. No one cares. Why? Because we're too busy fighting for our lives over here. Ain't that a coincidence? But what I'm trying to say, guys, is this, right? People who run away from their countries because it's very bad, yes, I do feel sorry for them. And I think it's up to countries like us, who've already been through that oppression, already been through all that, to help that country. And if we have to take arms and protect them, then we go over there and do that. But I don't think the right idea is to have young men come over this country in hundreds, risk their lives to come over here, to get caught, arrested and sent back, when they're leaving their wives and kids in the place where they're trying to run and get the kids and wife away from. Like America's huge. America's really huge. But Britain isn't. Britain's a very small island. And if we sink, have you ever asked yourselves, if we sink, who's going to take us on? Where are we going to go? If there's no other places in Britain, right, but they built on everywhere. They've taken our farms away. They've built on every bit of land they can possibly build. If we leave the government carry on with the way they're doing this. Build big houses and stuff. It ends up like a place like Tokyo, which is very scary. Or they say it's beautiful, but there's not one bit of land. It's all lights and buildings and... Do you want your world to be like that? And that's not even bigger than us. We're only a small country. We have big art. We're brave, yes. But eventually we're going to run out of space for us. Let alone run out of space for bringing people in. So why not help them the way they helped us? But I don't like it when people come into my country, starts moaning and saying we have a right to a house, we have a right to benefits, we have a right to be treated like we've lived here all our lives. We have a right. No, you don't. You have a right to be treated like a decent human being, which is what we would do. You have a right to have a roof over your head and be warm because we give you that right. But you don't have a right to come into our country and then tell us you're running away from a country that's oppressing you, that you can't be gay, that you can't be, your wife isn't safe, your child isn't safe, and then tell us that our rules are wrong, our laws are wrong, the way we act are wrong, the way our colour skin is wrong, the way we look is wrong, the way it is wrong. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there was a guy, and he was a delivery driver, and he was delivering something for me. Like, he picked it up from somewhere else and he was delivering it to me with my medicine, right? He was delivering it to me. And he happened to make a comment, and I went off on one. He turned around and he said, bloody Britain, it's disgusting the way people are. So I went, excuse me? And he went, you know, in my country, autistic people like you would be smothered when you were young. I forget what country he was from, but I wasn't interested in the country. I was more interested in how he came into my country to tell me that I was damn lucky I wasn't in his country. So I said to him, what do you mean by that? Then that means your country's wrong. Then that means your country misses out on a lot of autistic people and what they can do. Because we can give a lot to society. It might not be, you know, the same thing as being a doctor or a nurse or that, but we can make people smile. We've got good hearts. We try our best to understand the world. That's crazy. And he said, yeah, but you're diseased. Because in my country, we believe that you're diseased. So I said to him, oh, so where were you born? And he goes, I was born in the UK, but my family is Iraqi or something. And I turned around and said, then that means you are in your country. No, I don't class myself as British. I class myself as Iraqi or whatever it was. And I looked at him and I thought, pathetic. And then when I come in, I looked at my carework and I went, you know what bloody scares me? If there was a war against that country that he mentioned where his ancestors were from, he wouldn't fight for our country. He might even turn against us. And what the scary thing was when, yeah, probably. Like it was a known fact that that would happen. How did we get onto this subject in the first place? I don't know. Oh yeah, about Turks stealing people's recipes and then pretending to take it off as their own. Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the chat. Happy Easter again for all the Greeks out there and all the Christians. I hope all your families are safe. I hope you're all well and happy. If you want to hear more chit chat and more bollocks on me, of what I've got to say, because it is mostly bollocks, but please leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to see more of me and Guardian. I'm going to do some more Greek mukbangs when my stomach gets a little bit more under control. Once I've been in for this operation to sew my bleed up. Yeah, so like, subscribe, share, and if you want to hear more bollocks, then this is the place to be. Right, guys, leave your comments down below. I'll read them, and then I'll be doing a live session in a couple of weeks. So if you want to leave something on my Twitter account, it's Chip and Guardians Adventures. Go on Twitter. We're also on Twitter. We're also on all the other channels. Or just stay here and keep tuned. Press the icon on all and you will get updates. So guys, stay safe and see you in a while, crocodile.